Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Twitch TV live stream. Thank you, Joey. My name is Glenn Tompkins, Senior Instructor here at VectorVest. My pleasure to be here. My pleasure to have you here. If you are here and you want to chat, by all means, please do. There's Kirby. I know, I just saw that, Kirby. Market dropped big time after it was a great day. Actually, it's in here as one of my streams for Trending Thursday. As a matter of fact, I'm going to leave it up there because it is something to talk about. It just happened. That's the cool thing about doing live TV is when things happen like this, especially on Trending Thursday, we can put that into the stream today. So that just happened. I'm looking at breaking news. Dow drops 200 points, giving up big earlier gain after Trump says U.S. adding more tariffs to China. So we're going to take a look at that along with the other things that we have set up for you for Trending Thursday. Glad that you're here. Good afternoon, Steve. Good afternoon. Yeehaw. Gotta love that. And I did shave. I shaved this morning. It was getting, you should see Joey. Joey has got a beard like out to here. He won't ever come on camera, but yeah, I shaved today, this morning before I came to work. Alessandra is here. Good afternoon, Alessandra. Glad you're here. If you need home mortgage or refinance, your interest rates just got lower. I know. So I'm going to give, real quick before we get started, I'm going to give my own personal opinion about the rate cut. All right. I didn't think that the rate cut was needed. I think the economy was just fine. The whole idea is if you're new to the market, the whole idea of why the Federal Reserve cuts the interest rates is that it's a means to stimulate the economy. The economy on its own was doing just fine. And I think the Fed fell under some political pressure to stimulate the economy. And the problem is with that, the Fed cut the interest rates by 25 basis points, 0.25%. Keep in mind, the interest rates are still at historical lows since 2008. Keep that in mind. All right, and keeping that in mind, if the economy does get to a point where it does really, really need some stimulating, how low do you go? Think about that. How low do you go? So, I didn't think that it needed a rate cut, and even with the rate cut, people were looking for a bigger rate cut by 50 basis points instead of 25, and there you go. So Alessandra says, you should be proud of me again. I followed the plan, Profit Locker 5010, took me out of EMPH, and Alessandra made 49% on that. Wow, 3 ticks into the red, and that's, you know something? A lot of times, all it takes is just one thing to be a catalyst, and man, oh man, the market felt the effect. So today is Trending Thursday. Again, my name is Glenn Tompkins. I've been with VectorVest now for 15 years. I work for a company called VectorVest. That's what you're all here for, to learn more about the VectorVest software. Good afternoon, Crimson Kyle. Yes, I remember. It is not Crimson Kentucky. Crimson Kyrie. It was Kyrie. Gosh darn it, I did mess it up. Dang it. Joey remembered. By the way, sitting side saddle with me is my producer, Joey. Say hi, Joey. Hi. There you go. And in the background, we have super producer Daniel. Daniel, say hi to the folks. He's going to type it in. He's not sitting in here with me. But Crimson Kyrie, there we go. Thank you for being here, my friend. I'm glad that you came back. There you go. Ehaz said, yo, Joe. What is this? Oh, yo, Joe. I thought he was like, I'll get ready to go. G.I. Joe. I was, yo, Joe. That's what I thought. But no, and I don't know how many of us are old enough to know about G.I. Joe. I don't know how many of us in the room know that. So there you go. And Crimson is saying good morning, good evening to everyone. So that's right. Everybody can see everybody's typing here. And VectorVest is a company that's been around for 30 years. They are a stock analysis and portfolio management system. VectorVest is a tool to help you to make better decisions in the stocks that you buy, sell, and to effectively make money. Just as Alessandra talked about, we give a lot of information, a lot of support to our software to help people like Alessandra make money that they do. Kirby has made money in the market. A lot of the people that are in here are VectorVest subscribers. They've made money. New people in the room, do not be afraid to chat. If you're new to the market, you're in the right place. If you're a veteran to the market and you're here on Twitch, you're in the right place. And if you like the data that we give or the content, look up above. You have the follow button. Hit the follow button. Follow us. I'm trying to grow the footprint on the Twitch. Right now, we're trying to hit a new subscriber goal of 350. We're now at 321. My goal today, let's go see if we can get 5 new followers today. 5 new followers. I'm putting it out as a challenge. So if you like the content, by all means, please follow. That way you'll be up to date. You'll get all the up-to-date information about all of the streams that we do. And Alessandra is letting everybody know that she is from the Dallas user group, which has grown a lot. That's another thing, new people, once you come on board with VectorVest, you have access to a lot of resources to help you to learn the software. And one of them is a user group that hopefully may be in your area. And if it is free to attend for the most part, unless they have to pay for a room. Posting again about our Dallas user group website. I'll get you 5. There you go, Alessandra. That's all I'm looking for. Kirby says it's days like this where we all need VectorVest and Glenn. No, it's not about Glenn. It's about VectorVest. But thank you for that, Kirby. It is more so about VectorVest than it is about me. I am just a personality on this stream. That's what I am. It's all about the VectorVest software. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the software. All right, so just keep that in mind. And of course, Ehud says, who's Glenn? Oh no, he's just that guy you're looking at on the screen. No big deal. All right, so we're trying to hit 350. Once we hit 350, we're gonna have a giveaway. Oh, you know Joey, but you don't know who Glenn is. Stop laughing, Joey. Stop laughing. That's not that funny. It's not that funny. All right, so you got an Ehud, and Ehud's got 3 badges. There you go. He's a big supporter of the software, and I like that tremendously, tremendously. Do I have a VIP badge to give away today? That's all Daniel. Is Daniel in the background at all? He's not typing, huh?
Haven't seen him.
All right, well, normally super producer Daniel is in the background, but maybe he's not today. All right. Any videos or streams that you have not, that you've missed out on, if you click exclamation point YouTube, you can get caught up on all of the other Twitch live streams that we've done. And that's because Ehud says he's an elite member. VectorVest is his Bible on the markets. There it is. See, something tells me that the bot is down. That's why I think Daniel's in the background working on the bot, because Kirby put in exclamation point YouTube. Hi, Glenn, man, you got smoked on TQ. I know. It was doing good until the market just fell. And I don't know if Steve got me out of it or not. And if he didn't, man, I'm getting hurt. I still have a profit locker on it, Dave. I still have a profit locker on it, but man, you're right. As soon as the market turned around, as a matter of fact, let's talk about that. Let's get into that. Let's see. This is trending Thursday. We're going to get back into that. Ooh-wee, I had lunch over the bowling alley, played a game of Sheepshead. What the heck was Sheepshead? With the boys, came back and wang bang. Trump has set off the bots again. Joey is the personality. Glenn is the ninja trader. Oh, why are you laughing? Joey's laughing in the background. Still holding TQQ with a 10% gain so far. Is that from this morning, Kirby? Is that from this morning? Man, there you are, Providence. Holy smokes. Been in TVIX since $13.99, 2,000 shares. Bang, I know. That TVIX kicked in again today. Good afternoon, Providence. No, swing I had. Okay, I got you. I'm about to say, I didn't think we made 10% today, but I'm hoping that Steve maybe got me out. But if he did not, Profit Locker is in place. Profit Locker is in place. All right, so tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to get right into it. Which one of these screens do I want, Joey? This one or this one?
The second.
I want that one. Let's get into this real quick. Breaking news. Oh, man, Apple stock drops on the Trump tariff threat. It just came up about the top story. Trump says will impose. There we go. I want to look at that. I want to look at that real quick. Oh, it took me out of one of them, didn't it?
Yep.
All right, hold on. We're going to move back. I'm going to go back.
And then open a new tab.
Now open up a new tab. I'm going to go ahead. Am I doing it wrong?
When you click it, just open a new tab. Is this the one?
Yeah, that's the new one.
They're not an option.
See, you just messed me up. I knew what I was doing. Leave me alone. What are you doing? Oh my gosh, Joey. Leave me alone. Let's go see. It's not. Drop drops, giving up again, adding. There we go. That's what it was. Drop drops 200 points, giving up big earlier gains after Trump says U.S. adding more tariffs on China. And this is what's making the market drop. It was nicely up today. It was nicely up today. Oh, look at that. The VIX is up over 17. That means the market is getting a lot more volatile. Getting a lot more volatile. King Lucci, good afternoon. Things were going so well, he says. Absolutely, it was. And then, holy smokes, this happens. Stocks slashed gains on Thursday after President Donald Trump said the U.S. would impose an additional 10% tariff on Chinese imports to the U.S. That's huge. All right. I bought a put on Alibaba. I mean, and a lot of the stocks that we were bullish on just went to pot. They really did. EMPH still roaring, 450% on our calls. Excellent, Providence, Rhode Island. And that's why he's Rhode Island. It's Providence, Rhode Island. Anyway, Providence, Rhode Island, whichever it is. So there's a lot going on. All right. So, really? All right. So I wanted to show that real quick. Now, the stuff that we had set up for, why does it look like that, Joey?
Because I tried to put it on this one, but you can put it here.
Okay. Stuff that I had already been looking at prior to today, charting the S&P 500's jagged July breakout attempt ahead of the Fed. So that was prior to the Fed making the announcement about the cut and a lot of charts they were looking at. So let's go up to what the Fed did. Here's a story. Similar adjustments by the Federal Reserve in the 1990s led to boom time for stocks. So it says right here, key points. This week's rate cut, the first in more than a decade, was reminiscent of the Fed's insurance easing episodes of the 1990s. The cuts in 1996 and 1998 managed to reignite the economy and drive the S&P 500 more than 20% higher within a year. Using Kensho, a hedge fund analyst tool, CNBC found the major stock averages skyrocket after the initial rate cuts of the 1990s. You have the mouse? All right, so interesting. What did the Fed do? The Fed cut the rates by 25 basis points. All right, and in doing so, it was a way of easing the interest rates to help to spur up the economy. What happened on Thursday when the Fed started talking? The market started falling. The market started falling, and man, oh man, that was very, very interesting. It started to do a little bit of a rebound. As a matter of fact, let me go into the software real quick. Can I have the mouse?
Yep.
Let me go into the software real quick. I don't want that one. I want to go, no, we'll use that one. We'll go to the market timing graph. And I want to show you something. Let's go back to yesterday. Yesterday, love was such an easy game to play. That was yesterday's graph. All right, that is the big down day. And look at what's going on right now. Another big down day after the president said that we're going to add some more tariff stuff. So I'm going to put this on to intraday, 5-minute bars, 2 days. All right, let's go to yesterday. About 9:30 in the mornings when the market opens up, right? There's the 9:30 open. All right, the market gapped down yesterday and then started to run back up. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Let's go find 2 o'clock. Let's go find 2 o'clock, which was right about 1:55, 6, 7, 8. Oh, it's in 2 minutes. I got it in 5-minute bars. Here's the 2 o'clock time frame. This is when the Fed started to speak. The Fed came up and said, let's see, what did Rhode Island put? Oh, and I was in GE puts yesterday up over 50%. Okay, that's fine, and that's good. You know, and what you do, Providence, I was going to call you Rhode Island, put them all together, is awesome. And I know that you buy a lot of option plays and you do a lot of options, and that's great. And I'd love to see all of this stuff that you do and you make a lot of money on. And that's awesome. And I'm glad that you're a VectorVest subscriber as well. Knowing that 2 o'clock happened right here. The market said, okay. And then the market came in and go, woof, fell. Now, even as the market fell, coming into today, the market did a little bit of a rebound and then fell off going into the end of the day. Now, here's 9:30 this morning. 9:30 this morning. Let me zoom in. The market was doing great. Market was doing great. And when did this happen? Just when we got the news at 125. All right, that was prior to us coming on, that we were going to put tariffs on and look at the market. These are 5-minute bars. Market is falling. Got a little bit of a hammer formation forming right there. Let's see if the market can take off. But that's a lot of panic selling. That's a lot of panic selling, and that's why the market is going down. All right, and I try to, in these sessions, I try to get you to stop panic selling. Let your stocks come to you. If your stocks hit your stop criteria because the market fell, that's fine. Don't panic. Don't get out unless your stops that you have in place get you out. All right, anything can happen. And the trend of the market right now is down. As the market is falling, I do have a hammer formation right here. Let's go see if that is a possible change in sentiment and the market could start going up. But these are 5-minute bars. All right, let's go back out to the news stories. Where am I at? How come I didn't do it? Where did I not go?
You go to Chrome? No?
I'm going to Chrome.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So there we are. So in regards to the rate cut at the 25 basis points, I think that more people were looking for, you saw that downturn, a lot more people were looking for a bigger rate cut. I am still of the mindset of why? But that's what people were thinking about. So there we go. Stocks rebounded Thursday as traders reassessed their bearish outlook. Scrolling down a little bit, 2 words from the Fed chairman said mid-cycle adjustment. That may have briefly roiled financial markets, but the last 2 times the central bank adjusted its policies, the markets did just fine. All right, so this is the reason why I'm still saying at no point in time should you ever panic about what to do with your stocks. The DEW is down. Thank you, Alessandra. Big move to the downside is going to affect our market timing calls. But we still have more trading day left. Don't forget about that, right? Don't forget about that. Anything can happen between now and 4 o'clock. How many times have you seen the market flash a down call on a market timing call? And then by the end of the day, it rebounded. That could happen today, not sure. All right, are we still more bullish in the market or bearish in the market? Those are the things that you have to keep in mind. Our market, looking at the VectorVest composite, which is an average of all of the 8,400 stocks that we track, is still sitting in a channel. Still sitting to a channel. So what does that mean? The market's not going up, the market's not going down, and this is why you don't panic. Until the market gives you an idea, let me go back to the graph real quick. Until the market gives you an idea that we are bearish, let me put this onto a 3-month graph. Where are we? All right, actually, with today's activity, guess what? We just broke out of our channel, didn't we? Let me go draw a line. Horizontal line here was our level of the high for the channel. Let's make it a little darker for you to see it. And here's our level of the low of the channel. Style. Let me make it a little more darker so you can see it. There's the channel. What did we do just now? We just broke out of the channel to the downside. But we've been in a channel for almost the last month. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 days. 5 times 4. 20 days is about a month. So a little bit more than a month, we've been traveling back and forth between a level of resistance and a level of support. Good level of support and a good level of resistance, actually. And what are we going on now? What's going on right now? The market has finally broken down through the channel. Now, Dave says Fed policy is great, means we can have bad news and the Fed will rescue the markets. I have to be very bullish now. Well, before you think about being very bullish now, just from the standpoint of over the last month and a half, a month and a couple, Look at this, Dave. This is huge. This is huge. I'm not going to tell you to be bullish just quite yet, but you know something? We still have market day left. Who's to say that this candle would not finish back above the level of this level of support, which is now resistance? That would keep you more on the side of we are still moving sideways. Does that make sense, Dave? And does that make sense to everybody in the room? We are now, for the first time, breaking out of the channel where we have been for the last month and then some, right? So Alessandra did let me know that the DEW timing system within the VectorVest software is down, but look at that. That's key. The market did break out of the level. Providence, what are you sending me? You know I can see all of this stuff as it's coming across. I can see this. I'm looking at my watch. I can see all of this. Providence is sending me something. Stop checking your phone. That's not my phone. It's my watch. It's my Apple Watch. I'm looking at it. It's buzzing on my arm, and I'm like, who's sending me email? Anyway, this is key. So Dave, just pay attention. Does anybody else agree with that? In looking at an indicator like the VectorVest composite, which tracks the move of over 8,400 stocks, does everybody else agree with me with what you're looking at? That this is significant. Type a yes in the room. Or if you don't think, type a no in the room. But I want you to understand what's going on as it's going on. Remember, we still have trading day left, and anything can happen. This could rebound and get us back into the channel. But when we break out of that channel to the downside after all of this time being in a channel, that's significant. That is definitely significant. Good afternoon, Jeep Mike. I'm glad you're here. Alessandra says yes, but Todd says one day doesn't make a trend. I'm absolutely on top of that. I agree with that. But that's preliminarily something to look at. And that's what I'm saying. Preliminarily, that is something to look at. Alessandra is right. How do I know of confirmation of this? Let's see if tomorrow we continue to stay below that trend line if we close below the trend line, if we close below that level of support. All right, so just don't panic. Don't think about going short just quite yet, but this is significant. This makes you stand up and take notice. That's all I want you to do is stand up and take notice that this is happening. All right, let's get back out to the news. All right, Joey, you made it look better. What did you do?
I just extended it.
Oh, high five, boy. My boy right there. Yeah, boy. All right, let me go back to what's going on in the market. And again, keeping on top of what the Fed has done will make things, put things into perspective. Downtrends start on bad news generally. Well, it does. Hey, Deacon, should we panic if the Fed trots out Powell to speak again? Listen, he's just talking. Let him talk. All right, let him talk. Let the tool, the VectorVest tool, guide you as to what to do. People can talk all they want. And a lot of times what they say can affect the market. And you know what it's doing? It's affecting the market emotionally. People are panicking and they're jumping. Let the sane people, I'm not calling anybody insane. Actually, I just did. Let the more learned people settle in and take control. And that's what VectorVest helps you to do. It helps you to keep you from panicking and jumping all over the place and running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Let this software guide you on what to do. If you're in positions, if they hit the stops, you want to consider getting out of them. But look at the graphs. Don't get out just because people in the market are talking. Let the software do its work. All right? Does that make sense, Deacon? Let the software do its work. That's what I want you to have happen. And that takes the emotion out of the equation. All right, so going down a little further, it's talking a little bit more. All these people talking on TV. The Fed lowered the benchmark rate by a quarter point Wednesday, the first rate cut since 2008. Powell cautioned against assuming that this week's cut is the beginning of cycles that happened in the past. So pretty much he was saying that this was a one-off, that this wasn't going to be quantitative easing, that this was a one-off. All right, so just keep that in mind. The comments from Powell caused the Dow to drop 300 points on Wednesday, but perhaps traders were reassessing the move on Thursday. See that? But perhaps traders were reassessing the move on Thursday as stocks bounced back with the Dow up nearly 200 points, and then something else smacks it down, the tariffs, possible tariffs on China. All right, Ehud, trade them as you see them, not how you think them. Oh, I like that. You like that, Joey? Trade them as you see them, not as you think them. And Deacon, I know, I was only messing with you back too, but I just don't want people to get into the habit of panic selling, especially our new people. Jeep Mike, I like that you're here. Do you have any insight as to what's going on? Yes, no, maybe? Tom says, if everyone had VectorVest subscription, Dr. D would set off the markets every Friday evening with facts rather than baloney. Again, that's not coming from me. That's coming from my subscriber that's got fainting goats. He's got the fainting goats. I love that he's got fainting goats. He does. Do you really run up to him and go, boo, and they faint and fall over? I think they do. All right. What else do I have? Another story. Be prepared to pounce on Capital One stock. You know what I've seen over the last couple of few days? Bank stocks are starting to move. Bank stocks are starting to move. All right, so this is the Capital One. Jeep says, I think that people are quick to pull the trigger on words from talking heads. Let the software work. Excellent. That's what I like to hear. I like that. Kev, all right, Kevitrade, is that right? I see when the Fed speaks, gold usually goes up. Let me talk to you about the correlation between the market and gold. Prior to 2008, when we had the housing crisis, prior to 2008, when the market went up, gold went down. When the market went down, gold went up. That paradigm changed after 2008, and I don't think that it has a direct correlation as much as it did prior to 2008. Now, gold is looked at as a run to safety, and as the market has been starting to fall, people are starting to get more so into gold. The gold has been hot. And within the software, we have a segment every Monday where we track gold and we let our subscribers know if it's okay or not okay to be in gold. And for the past couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, we've been letting you know it's okay to be in gold. And then all of a sudden gold pops and it gets hot. And the hot stocks that we've had in the software were gold stocks. And another thing that we talk about in the software, once you become a subscriber, is we give you 10 hot stocks every night. Every night we give you 10 hot stocks. And from that, you can cherry pick which stocks you want to get into the next day. So for any of you who are not subscribers to the software, we do offer you a trial for 99 cents for 30 days. And in that trial, you will have access to the 10 hot picks that we give every night. And for those of you who will be looking at the special presentation tomorrow, I am doing a special presentation talking about hot stocks and how our hot picks have worked. You're going to be super surprised at how well the hot picks have done as a whole. And again, any of you who are not subscribers who want access to being able to see what the hot picks are on a nightly basis, take the 99-cent trial for 30 days. You will then have access to those hot picks every night. Number two, again, if you're new and you like what we've been talking about so far, hit the follow button up top. Hit the follow button. That way you can stay on top of everything that we do. Kevitrade says, get in only if the market gauge approves. And that is in the software. We talk about that every night in the software to let you know if it's okay or not okay to be in the market. Folks, when you sign up for a trial, it's not about baptismal by fire, just go have at it. We support this software more than anybody else I think out there supports their software. Where do you find them in VectorVest? Dave, it's every night in the Daily Color Guard Report. You have to watch the Daily Color Guard Report every night to get those hot stocks. We highlight that in the Color Guard Report, and we've been doing it for the last month. You want the hot stocks, and what we're going to start doing, we are going to start looking at those hot stocks in the Jockey Club starting probably either tomorrow or Monday. So we're going to use that as fodder within the software on the Jockey Club every morning to look at. Are you going to include the user group contest portfolio Friday's Color Guard? I'm going to talk about that as too. The user group, I'm going to talk about the hot stock picks tomorrow as far as the user groups. So I will highlight that as well. All right. Okay. Kevin, good. All right, so this is talking about Capital One. If you're Capital One, which was down right now, the company that makes those annoying credit cards, I love those commercials, the answer Tuesday was about 3.2 billion less than yesterday. The value wiped off the bank's market capitalization as news of massive data breach caused Wall Street to stampede for exits. All right, so the stock went down from 97 to 90 bucks. But I'm going to scroll down a little bit. As an RBC Capital Marketist, this guy said, there is also the potential for longer-term reputational damage, and for political and regulatory actions includes penalties. But there's a case for wondering if the stock price has fallen too far. All right, the alleged hacker worked for the technology company that provided Capital One's web service. All right, and it talked about a lot of the other stocks that were on the wrong side of public relations, on the other side of bad things, talking about what went on. Investor overreaction. Stocks often overreact to scandals and crises. Can I get an amen? They do. Wall Street money managers and other investors, intermediaries, tend to sell first and think afterward. A lot of what I've been talking about. Not panicking. All right. As usual, the prime concerns career risk, not investment risk. There's always outside possibility in the occurrence of Boeing that bad crises become very, very bad situations. And Boeing has become more and more of a very bad situation. All right. So the whole idea of this story is that maybe people are overreacting. Listen, I'm not sure about overreacting to a breach of putting out a lot of people's information. All right, I'm just saying it is what it is, but you know, Capital One has been around, number one. Number two, it is overall a reputable company. They might have had something that happened by a third party or something along those lines. I think that they will rebound, all right? So that was the name of this story. The name of this story was Be Prepared to Pounce on Capital One stock, all right? Next one. Forget Facebook. Twitter could see a 25% boost on earnings, says Chart Watcher. How many people know that? I'm going to go back to the market timing graph real quick. How many people saw that Twitter beat earnings? Let's go take a look at Twitter. TWTR. All right, look at that run up. Well, it broke out of a wedge. God, that's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let me clear all of this. Freehand line, clear all the drawings. How about Twitter beat earnings? Put on a 3-month graph. Look at Twitter. Twitter over the last month and a half. Look at that. I'm going to take off the 20. How about the 3 and the 8 from a trading perspective? Stock beat earnings, and look at it run up still. Today is not a good day to be to buy Twitter. It's a down day, but look at that. Since earnings, the stock's price has gone up. That's not a bad play, and the stock is now a buy recommendation. Steve says Equifax breach was due to intelligence. Capital One due to negligence by Amazon Web Service employees. There you go. Well, at least, thank you for clearing that up for me, Steve. So you know something, Capital One, even though the story says be prepared to pounce on it, if it was done by way of negligence, they're probably going to get fined and still move on. Think about that, right, Steve? Think about that. They'll probably get a nice big old fine, but keep on moving on. All right, so we'll see what happens. The story was just saying that maybe people were overreacting, and I don't, I'm not sure if I totally agree with that. If it was negligence, I don't know if that's an overreaction, especially if they were in the wrong, right, Steve? But thank you for that. I appreciate it. Dave says, oh, there you go, was asking about how to find the top stocks. Let's get back to the stories. Boom, boom, boom. So Twitter did move up nicely. The story was specifically talking about Twitter going up prior to earnings. Earnings hit, the stock's price did go up. As industry giants, Facebook and Twitter prepare to report earnings, and this was early in the week, with Facebook's release on deck after Wednesday closing bell, experts have their eyes on the social titans. All right, and talked a lot about prior to earnings, what could happen. The technical patterns for me, despite the fact that it looks like it's underperformed over the last few years, is actually a very attractive longer-term basing pattern, which bodes well for this to get up to the low to the mid 40s. And you did see that with earnings, Twitter did rise up nicely. I do still think it has upside to former highs right near
Towards the top.
218, he says. But Twitter remained his top pick mainly because of its potential to run over 25% to a new high. So you know something? Let's analyze the stock real quick. I can do that. I don't want it there. Hold on. I know where I want to go. I want to go here. I want to go to the Viewers tab. Let's analyze Twitter and Facebook. That's the beautiful thing about being able to do this, right? Let's put in Facebook, comma, TWTR, and let's analyze them both. All right, who's better? Well, right now, Facebook is undervalued and Twitter is slightly overvalued. Facebook is a lot more. Facebook does have good upside potential with relative value compared to Twitter. Facebook is a safer stock compared to Twitter. RT tells me that Twitter, though, is in a bigger up move. Since earnings hit, Twitter is now moving a little faster than Facebook is. But notice that Facebook, relative value, relative safety, relative timing, all above 1, whereas Twitter has good upside potential, even though it's overvalued. We call this a glamour stock. All right, the stock Twitter is not as safe as Facebook, but it's definitely moving up faster than Facebook, and it's got a buy recommendation. Neither one of the CIs are above the value of 1. How about Twitter is growing their earnings at a clip of 28% a year, whereas Facebook is only growing it at 15%. Now you understand the story behind the writer who said that Twitter may be a better buy. I do know that Facebook is undervalued, whereas Twitter is not, but Twitter does have good upside, and it is moving faster. Now, this is the benefit of having the VectorVest software to make this kind of analysis on any 2 stocks, any 3 stocks, any 10 stocks, whatever you want to do to pinpoint what's working out. Now, you know what? I would look at Facebook as a longer-term investment, whereas Twitter would be a better trade opportunity because RT tells me that the stock's in an uptrend. Facebook has been getting hammered lately. Even though that with KevaTrade, even with that, it's still got good fundamentals by way of VectorVest standards. The stock has gotten hit. There it is. There's the RT is not nearly as high as Twitter. Facebook is in an uptrend, but not nearly as fast as Twitter. Does that make sense, KevaTrade? How about that? So looking at this, I can make a difference. I can tell the difference on whether I want to hold the stock long term or do I want to trade the stock. This is the kind of analysis that you get. All right, this is the kind of analysis that you get. Dave says AWS was the third party. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's get back to the stories. Where's my stories? There they are. So this is the stuff that's trending, folks. This is cool stuff. Let's go to Apple. How about Apple to buy the majority of Intel's modem chip business for $1 billion? That's going to be huge. Apple said Thursday it would buy the majority of Intel Core's smartphone modem business for $1 billion month after the chip maker announced plans to exit the 5G modem chip business. Wow, so if nothing else, it's putting the iPhones a little closer to getting 5G, right? Waiting for the plunge protection team to step into this at some point. You talking about the day on the market? Listen, that news has got people scared. All right, knowing that we're getting ready to put more tariffs on $300 billion of imports has got people scared, and that's exactly what's going on. That's all that is. Don't panic. Key thing, don't panic. Let your stops manage your trade. Let the stops manage the trade. That is important. If you don't get nothing else out of this, stop trying to outguess what the market is doing and stop listening to all of the talking heads on TV, just blah, 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 blah. Let the markets settle in and do what they do, because that's what happens. And every time you try to outthink what the markets do, you're going to put yourself in a bad situation. So let the markets do what they do. Let your stops be managed by your stops. All right. Intel had positioned itself as the sole source of iPhone modem chips over the past year after Apple got into a prolonged legal blah, 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 blah. Guess what? Nobody else is going to have them now but Apple. Apple will hold over 17,000 wireless technologies. All right, Apple is going to hold over 17,000 wireless technology patents. That's going to be huge. Guess what? Now, when Apple starts to move up on a 5G patent, nobody else is out there can argue with them. Wow, Providence, you also noticed the action that caused December 4th, 2018. Notice of, oh, okay, you guys are talking back and forth. Stop shaking your cup. All right, anyway, Apple reached a surprise settlement with Qualcomm in April that called for the company to once again use Qualcomm's modem chips, leading to the Intel's decision to quit the business. So the deal is expected to close in the fourth quarter of 2019. That could be huge. And now with all of those patents, that's a lot of patents that Apple will have access to. So then, what happened? Apple shines on earnings. Kramer and other experts on what comes next. So that was prior to earnings. Apple beat earnings, reported better than expected earnings Tuesday, sending the stock price up 4% on Wednesday. Huh? Oh, it dropped out? I look like I'm moving. Oh. All right. Am I moving again? All right. Sorry about that. Joey broke Twitch, and now I'm back. Yeah, look at that. I'm just... all right. Do I wait for them to catch up? Okay, yeah. Joey broke Twitch. I said it again. Badger says Felix and Oscar, Glenn and Joey. Well, I have to be Felix. Joey is Oscar. You don't even know The Odd Couple? Wow, that was before Joey's time, Badger. That was before Joey's time, Badger. Boy, oh boy. Which one is Oscar? Joey is going to be Oscar. Ebony and Ivory living in perfect harmony. Wow, really? Really? Joey's Oscar. I'm Felix. All right. So Apple did well on earnings overall. Let's go to the graph. Let's go look at Apple. Let's go look at Apple. Add that in. AAPL. And look.
Which is which? Well, you're the crazy one.
Oh, no, you're the crazy one. All right, so look at that. Apple long-term, you have to ask yourself, what's your goal on Apple? And look at the big channel it's in and look at where it stopped. What is your goal on Apple? If you're a longer-term investor, let the stops come to you. All right, let me zoom this in just about that much. Dag, Joey. Look at the nice run coming off of this low of 170.27. Nice run up. Where we at? Right at resistance, which is at 215.31. If you're a longer bye-bye SPY, we just breached the monthly. There you go. We just, look at that. Apple's falling, but look at the 3 and the 8. Let's go add the 20. The 20 still has you in it. All right, so your line in the sand would probably be anybody holding Apple. All right, anybody holding Apple? Let me ask that question. And if you are, let me show you something. Apple's been doing great. Apple's been doing great. From a trading perspective, the 3 and the 8 has done a great job. As a more investing scenario, the 20, look at that, doing a great job as well. The 3 and the 8 haven't breached yet, all right? But if they do, that might be one opportunity to get out. If it goes below the 20, that may be another opportunity to get out. Let me undo the zoom. If you are longer term and you don't want to get rid of the stock, what do? Buy puts. Absolutely right. Rhode Island knew exactly where I was going. If the stock breaks through that level of the 20-day exponential moving average, but you're still trying to hold it for your long-term retirement, all right, let's put this on a 5-year graph. Look at that, folks. It pulled back a lot, but look at that curve over the last 5 years. The stock has gone from $95 up to $207. If this is a long-term buy, my suggestion would be, if you don't want to get rid of it, buy a put. Oh, look at that. Did it just look at that? Did it just rebound? Look at that. It was a red candle. And look at that. It now turned to a green candle. It's probably going to turn back. Look at that. Look at the wick, though. A lot of selling pressure on Apple, but the 3 and the 8 are still solid. Somebody at VectorVest told me to hold Apple, not to trade it. And there you go. And that's why I'm giving you that analysis. That analysis is telling you if you don't want to get rid of it because it's a long-term situation, you want to consider buying puts to protect you. All right. Been in puts since 2017 says Wow, since 217. Let's go to 6 months. Since somewhere back, what's that? 215 thereabouts, right about there. I'm going to take that. And what was that, Providence? That was a good level of resistance that it pulled back from, didn't it? All right. And if you weren't puts for that long, you got the 217 puts, you're fine even as the stock's price went back up. Not bad. Not bad. All right. Jim Cramer uses VectorVest. I don't know. Does Jim Cramer, somebody at VectorVest told me to hold Apple, not to trade it. And it's all, again, you notice something? It dropped again. Notice something? I want everybody to know, whether it's me or anybody in this office, we can't tell you what to do, all right? We can't ever tell you what to do. We can only say to you what you might want to consider doing. So Alessandra, always remember that, and hopefully try not to ever put any one of us in a situation where we're telling you what stock to buy or sell. I can understand why they said to hold it, but I'm also going to protect you that how many times do you say, man, Apple's a great stock. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to hold it. Oh, man, I'm going to hold it. Oh, man, I'm going to hold it. Oh, man, I'm going to hold it. I am not going to ever tell anybody to sit through that unless you do have puts. All right? I will never let anybody know to sit through that unless they have puts, because you don't know how low is low, right? So just keep that in mind. I said that on Apple. I always will tell you that I like the equity curve. Maybe you might want to consider selling. No. I know what I will say. I will never tell anybody not to sell or to buy a stock. Right now, even if the 388 cross, I will say you might want to consider selling. I'll say things like that, but it all depends on what you're trying to do with the stock. If it's something you're trying to hold for the long term, this is definitely a stock. If you don't want to get rid of, buy puts. Definitely consider buying puts. All right? Let's get back to the news. Get back to the news, baby. Yeah, for shizzle. All right, so that was talking about Apple's movement on earnings. This one is, how many people realize that T-Mobile and Sprint got together? I am a Sprint person, and now T-Mobile and Sprint, they approved for T-Mobile and Sprint to merge together. All right, the U.S. Justice Department said it was greenlighting the T-Mobile U.S. Inc.'s request to acquire rival Sprint. So T-Mobile is the bigger one to buy up Sprint. T-Mobile's the bigger one to buy up Sprint. I don't know how that's going to affect me. Will I now be part of T-Mobile, or will the company change to T-Mobile since they are acquiring Sprint? Anybody know? The Justice Department said the 5 state attorney generals said they were filing suit to enforce the settlement conditions that also include companies providing Dish with access to 20,000 cell sites and hundreds of retail locations. All right. The deal, which would merge the nation's 3rd and 4th largest wireless carriers, has been challenged on the court and some other state attorney general led by New York. Blah, 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 blah. So it's going to be big for, hey, this Cory Booker is going to be set up for a big company. The 3rd and the 4th, maybe put them together, they become the second biggest. All right. Oh, can you do something with this one? This one don't look so good. EA's latest numbers should take the edge off, says analysts. Analysts say that there were expectations that the company would have to slash its forecast, but management held steady. And Electronic Arts shares rose Wednesday after the company positively surprised the Wall Street by holding its outlook constant. It went up 2.4%, has been popular hedge fund short lately, according to Bernstein Analysis and Todd Wenger, on expectations that the video game publisher would have to cut its full year forecast, but it didn't. And so EA Sports went up. That was a surprise. All right, next story I have is Free McMill. Joey, did you put this up here? Oh, Free Mig docuseries to stream on Amazon. Who put that one up there?
I don't know. You clicking around.
I wasn't clicking around. I don't want that story. All right. Man who called the gold rally, the precious metal is going even higher. How many people are trading gold stocks? How many people are still trading gold stocks? All right. This precious metal is on track for its third straight month of gains and sitting near 6-year highs as market watchers await the Federal Reserve decision on interest rates. So when that happened and the market went down, gold did go up. But I want to show you something. Kirby's got Kirkland Lake and Ego. Anybody else trading gold stocks? Anybody else trading gold stocks? Let's go take a look at gold real quick. We do this every Monday in the Daily Color Guard Report. We go look at the Huey, which are the gold bugs, and we look at them on a 3-month basis. And we look at a layout called the Midas Touch layout. Looking at 2 moving averages, a 10 and a 65-day moving average of the stop price of the Huey, and we look at a 40-day moving average of RT. What we're looking for, when is it a good time to be in gold? Let's go to the videotape. We look for the 40 to be above the value of 1, and it was, and we look for the moving averages to be, for the lower moving average to be above the higher moving average. We were saying that on 620, we've been calling it since 620, that it was a good time to be in gold. Anybody else was able to do that besides Rhode Island? I'm not sure. Because I'm sure that Providence is going to come in and be like, well, yeah, I've been long gold since gold was back in 1849 and everything. Well, how about VectorVest got people into gold on about the 20th of June. And look at that. Now, what has gold been doing recently once it hit its high? It's pulled back. So it's retrieving a little bit, and that's fine. Not telling you to panic, but it is pulling back, but it's still okay to be in gold. How cool is that? Oh, so Rhode Island said no. How cool is that? You want to be able to know on a weekly basis every Monday if it's okay or not okay to be in gold. This is another reason why having a VectorVest subscription will help you with that. All right, so let's go back to the news article. The news article is talking about precious metals on track for its 3rd straight month of gains. How about that? And if you ask trading expert Todd Gordon, founder of TradingAnalysis.com, on June 6th, it looks like it poised to head even higher. We had people in it. He says June 6th. We had you guys in it in 620. That is the date. Hold on. Let me check that real quick. What was the date? 620. He said June 6th, which would have been right about here, June 5th. He said he called it. Now, I'd like to see what made him call it that early. Right now, we would still be saying, yeah, it's moving up, but not ready yet. We give you more confirmation. Now, from 6 to 620 is a few days. Even with our call, were we able to get you in at the right time and still take advantage of gold? And we can document it. If you go to the views on that date or close to that date, we were probably saying that it was okay to be in gold. We can get you in. We had a track record, and this is in the software. We can show you and not just put it in words. We can show you. All right? So there's a difference there. All right, let's go to the next story. Next story is, just right now, the Dow drops 200 points, giving up big early. So that's where we started off today. That was a big story. All right, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. That's what's trending. All right, so we talked about Apple. We talked about Sprint, T-Mobile. We talked about EA. We talked a lot about gold. We talked about what the Fed did. These are the things that are trending. What I always like to do is I always give you an opportunity to look at some stocks that you may be interested in, that you're holding. Type them in the room. Let's take a look at some of those stocks. Market 3 is starting to rebound above 8. TQQ is rebounding. DTI starting to converge. Is panic over now? Listen, this is why you stop panicking. I know, and there it is. Rhode Island said bullish reversal on the spot. You know what all of this is? This is probably helping your TVIX. The market is becoming more volatile. The market is really becoming more volatile. That's exactly what you're seeing right now. All right, so let me take a look at some of your stocks. LK, UIS. That's on silver, isn't it? No, that's Unisys. Sky was a big popper this morning. Big Papa. What you know about Big Papa? What you know about Big Papa, Steve, Joey? You don't know about Big Papa. EMPH. Is it too late to get in or wait? Let me take a look at it. What's VV? What is VVV? What are you typing in there? That's a real stock. I thought you was messing with me, Rhode Island. Oh man, I thought you was messing with me. That's Valvoline. That's the oil people. Comma, Beyond Meat, which got smoked. Comma, nope, out of that T-VIX. All right, but I'm gonna put in the VIX. I want to take a look at that. Any other stocks? Going once, going twice, 3 times a lady. Alessandra, you didn't put no stocks in there. Smoked Beyond is flavorful. I don't know. Is Alessandra still here? TGT, Target. What are you looking at Target for? Target, VIX, comma, TGT, shop. There you go. I knew Alessandra had something to put in here. Team, that's Turtle Beach. Nope, that's not Turtle Beach. All right, going once, going twice. I know I keep hearing about this second offering for Beyond. I don't know what that means just quite yet. I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. PG, comma, Coca-Cola. All right, let's take a look at these stocks. Put these on a 3-month graph. Is this the coffee that's in China? Who gave me LK? Who gave me LK? Kevitrade. Is this the new, this is supposed to be the Starbucks thing? Is this supposed to be the new Starbucks in China? Can somebody tell me that? $160 offering on Beyond. They issue more stock to get more money from the okay, I got you. So this is that new, possibly Starbucks in China. Well, it went up, it went flat, it went up, hit a high, and since then it's gone down. Notice that the relative timing on the stock, we haven't tracked it long. The relative timing on the stock started moving up. Just be careful. Wait for a better opportunity. Oh, let me change the graph layout. Hold on.
I need some luck and coffee.
You need some... You better watch what you say. Shut your mouth. So Joey says, I need some luck and coffee. I said, you better shut your mouth. You better shut your mouth. All right, so here's the 3 and the 8 on the stock. Watch that they're converging. All right, Kirby is in here. You need coffee? I might have to, Kirby, I might have to give you a call. I think I need some coffee. I think I do now need some coffee. I might have to talk to you. Rhode Island says adding 5% to the floor. So they're trying to raise money to get more money to push out more shares at $160. Is that what you're saying? And that's probably why the stock's price is falling? Could be. All right. So watch this. Kirby says, ring, ring, your coffee's at the door. Thank you, Kirby. Kirby, I love Kirby to death. Watch the 3 and the 8 on, if you're trading it, watch the 3 and the 8. That's from a trade perspective. Let's go put on the 20-day exponential. That gives you a little bit more room. All right, that does give you a little bit more room on the stocks. Insiders are selling. You talking about, oh, on the Beyond, they're selling their shares? Is that what you're saying, Rhode Island? All right, so just be careful on Luck and Coffee. I'm going to stay off of that stock. I'm never going to say that stock again. UIS, nicely moving up, gapped up, without follow through today. So look at that gap up, spinning top candlestick formation, no follow through. Listen, it did rise higher. We did have follow through earlier this morning that then turned around and fell. All right, just be careful with UIS. If you're already swing trading it, you're fine. Let the 3 and the 8 work. If you're already swing trading it, let the 3 and the 8 work. If you're not in it, wait. If you're not in it, wait. The stock did go up to a buy recommendation. It's still a buy recommendation even though it fell down today. Just be careful if you're not in it yet. Sky, beautiful looking equity curve. Look at that nice trend up. Nice 45-degree angle moving up. Overall, it did move sideways for a little while. Even with the sideways move, still from the low, overall, was still moving higher. Look at the give back today. Look at that selling pressure coming in. The candle is still green because it's higher than yesterday's close. But look at that. It started here and fell. It went as high as this. A lot of volatility going on in the market. You're going to see that in stocks as well. You're going to definitely see that. Right now, I wouldn't buy it today. A lot of selling pressure. Wouldn't buy it today. If I'm already in it, the 3 and the 8 are still working for me. All right, next stock, EIX. Again, a stock that went sideways for half of this for about a month and a half, maybe just about a month. After that, though, look at the stocks run up. Little sideways move. The 3 and the 8 did a good job from a trending perspective, even though that's not a trending indicator. As the stock moved sideways, it never went down. Look at that. No follow through the day. Big up candle yesterday. No follow through the day. Be careful. And I also want to put on earnings per share. I should have been looking at earnings. Let's go change the type to an area. There we go. Earnings per share, the stock is higher than it was 3 months ago. Doji, that's indecision on the day. Indecision on the day, don't touch it today, not yet. CF, like the equity curve again, look at this. See how many candles exhibit the same characteristics? That's because of the big crash that we had in the market earlier when the news came out about the tariffs. A lot of stocks exhibiting the same characteristics. Let's keep going on. How about ENPH? Is it too late to get in? Question was. My suggestion, if the stock's price can go higher, put in your buy stop limit order a little higher than the high. All right, the stock is just rocking and rolling. Gapped up again. I'm not going to tell you that it's a bad time or not a good time to get in. Just make sure that if you buy into it, you're buying into it as the stock's price is rising. That is important. Don't ever buy into a stock that's falling thinking that it's going to go up. You're putting yourself in a situation from the onset of a losing trade. Make sure you're buying into a rising stock while the market is rising as well. Kirby says, I added more ENPH, 13 cents above yesterday's high. I would not, yes, you're good. You're happy, aren't you? 13 cents higher than yesterday's high. You're a happy individual, aren't you, Kirby? All right? Grab more calls today on ENPH. That's another good trade. That's another good trade. Next stock, Valvoline. Sideways, up, sideways, now up. A little bit of give back right here. 3 and 8 are still solidly in place. Look at that give back. What is that candlestick pattern known as? Anybody know? Sold my EMP, happy with 50%. Take it, Alessandra. Absolutely right. Take it. What's that candlestick formation? Anybody? That is a shooting star, and it could be a bearish reversal pattern if you get followed through the next day of the candle moving down. Be careful with Valvoline. A lot of selling pressure on that. Rise up, let's follow, support the channel. There you go, I like that. Thank you, Digital Link. Rise up, let's follow, support this channel. Woohoo! All right, I didn't get any followers today, any followers. I was looking for 5. And hopefully I get them. VVV is a shooting star because of China 10% tariff. Are they made in China? Did you know that? I didn't know that. Are they made in China? That's the Mobile One commercial with Kevin Harvick, not Valvoline. Okay. Currently have, there you go. So Kirby and Providence talking back and forth. Beyond got beat. Let me put this on the 6-month graph. Beyond looked great. And now they're doing this offering. And I'm thinking, so if they're doing a public offering at 160, do you think that the price is going to fall down to that offering price? Yes or no? Type it in the room. Sorry, my Dallas user group members are at the shooting range. Oh, man. I wish I was at the shooting range. That is a graveyard doji, huh?
They're shooting skeet.
They're shooting skeet. Are they really shooting skeet? They didn't. They just at the shooting range.
A lot of skeet shooting in
I didn't know there was a lot of skeet shooting in Dallas. Thank you very much, Kevin Trade. I got me a follower. I got 1 out of my 5. Thank you very much, Kevin Trade. I appreciate that. I'm still looking for 4 more. I'm not twisting no arms, though. I'm not. Alessandra said, yes, this is Texas, so I guess they're shooting skeet. I've never shot skeet. No, I've never shot skeet. Let's go see. Let's go to so Beyond, be careful. That is a graveyard doji. That could be more follow through. So who said yes? When I asked the question, does it mean that it's going to go down? Oh, Rhode Island says, no, I don't think so. Rhode Island says, no, I don't think so. So you don't think it's going to go down to that offering price? All right, and that's fine. I just had an idea. Glad to see someone in the market who looks like me. Listen, I can only repeat what I say, and I like that. That's what I'm talking about. And that's awesome. That is awesome. I'll take it anyway, and that is an awesome, awesome thing, my friend. All right, let's go to the next, brother. So Rhode Island still says no, that it's not going down because of that. Okay, even with that, the 3 and 8 are still bearish. That is a gravestone doji, and it could be a possible continuation if we get more follow through the next day. There's the VIX. Now, normally I track the VIX for volatility. When the VIX gets above the value of about 15, the market is considered to be more volatile, and there it is. It's moving up higher. Providence was playing The T-VIX. What's the difference between the VIX and the T-VIX, Rhode Island? Did you say because that or to that level? Oh, I was saying it was because of that it was falling to the level. That's what I was saying. Question is, I keep mentioning the 3 and the 8. What is that? I'm using exponential moving averages on these stocks, a 3 and an 8 exponential moving average, which really does a good job, whether you're trading or swing trading, to get you in and out of a stock. For example, you see the VIX here. On 4/24/2019, the VIX went above, but in this case, I shouldn't really use the 3 and 8 for the VIX. What I'm really looking at are levels above the value of 15 to tell me when the market is more volatile. Here, I go back to Apple. Here we go. Real quick. See the 3 and the 8 on Apple? Let's take off the 20. The 3 and the 8 crossed on Apple on 6/5/2019. As that's a good entry to get in, and notice the 3 and the 8 stayed positive the whole time. The 3, which is the green line, never went below the 8. Take off price. Never went below the 8. So this is a longer term hold, but the 3 and the 8 do a great job of keeping you in the stock without panicking. And you know what else I like about that? Thank you very much. I got Vote Booty Edge. Oh, I know what that's a candidate. Followed the channel. I got 2 out of my 5. Thank you very much for my second follow. Thank you very much for my second follow. Boot Edge, and that's fine. Look at that, Keva Trade. It never got you out, and even right now, I'm saying you still hold it until the 3/8 close. Or if you want more room on the stock, look at the 20 exponential. How about that? Get in when it crosses above, and look at that. So it's just a way of helping you get into the trade and manage the trade. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? And that's why we use it. Either or. All right. Still looking at your stocks. Let's go back. Let's go to Target. Woo! Target's getting smoked. Woo! Wait, look at that. Now, Target is harder to use the 3 and the 8 because it moves around a little bit more. Let's put on the 20. The 20 eases you in and out of that. Look at that. Look at that.
You can tell when my wife's there and when she's not there.
And Joey says you can tell when his wife is there and when she's not. That's what Joey said. You can tell when his wife is there and when she's not. Right now, below the 20, from a swing trade perspective, it's tough to still be in a big down day today. What I do like about it, though, look at the earnings per share. The earnings per share are still rising. Earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, so the earnings are still rising. Indicator like RT, you only find in VectorVest, is telling you that the stock is losing momentum. How cool is that? All right, how cool is that? Let's keep moving through. Woo, Shopify, look at that. Look at that nice 45-degree angle move up on the stock. Looking at the 20 exponential moving average, does it do a good job keeping you in and getting you out at the right time? How about it got you out and got you back in? And you can say to yourself, well, you know, I like Shopify for the long term, and I don't want to keep getting in and out. When the stock's price starts falling like this and falls below your 20, what do you do? If you don't want to get rid of the stock, what do? You buy a put. How about that? Now, the put wouldn't have lasted for too long. That's fine. But the put is insurance in case the stock's price falls off the face of the earth. All right, that's what's important. Let's go to the next one. Team, another stock, nice moving up. Right now, look at that. The stock's price fell and bounced off of what? Right off of that 20. And look at the stock's price still moving up. All right? What I don't like about Team, though, is what? Earnings per share is falling. This is just a heads-up indicator. If earnings is the engine that drives the stock's price higher, be careful of falling earnings on a stock. I'm not going to tell you not to get into it. Price action says it's okay. Falling earnings just tells you to be careful. Manage the trade a little closer. Manage the trade a little closer. What else is next? PG, Procter Gamble. Look at that 20. I got you out a couple of times, but look, overall, the stock's price is moving up. All right? You know, I'm going to show you something. Why not use the moving average that fits the stock? Watch this. I'm going to make this into a trend line for the stock. Oops. I'm going to make this into a trend line for the stock. If I'm trying to hold this long term, I'm going to use this. now I use a 74 exponential. Does everybody understand what I just did? Yes or no? Does everybody understand what I just did? Type it in the room. All right, nobody answered. What I did was I used the up and down. Kevin said no. So what I did is I used it up and down on the exponential moving average to draw a trend line without having to draw a trend line, using the moving average as a trend line. So I moved it to find the last spot that the stock's price broke below. If I'm investing into this stock for the long term, how comfortable do you feel trading this particular stock on a 74 exponential moving average? If you're comfortable, type yes. I would tighten to where you almost get bounced. And there we go. I did that, Iha. Look at that right there. That's where I did. I did that exactly what you said. All right, so all this means is that I can adjust any moving average to any long-term stock to hone in on what best fits the stock. How cool is that? Oh, most bounces, not one? Okay, yes, far from it. So let's do this. Let's tighten that up a little bit. I like you, Iha. So you're saying maybe here, Iha, about a 50? Is that what you're saying, Iha? I like that too. All right, what he did is he tightened it a little bit more to give it a little bit more room. How about that didn't confirm the next day? That's not as bad. All right, so maybe I tighten it just a little bit more, and now I move from a 74 exponential to a 50. Still using that moving average as a trend line. Not everybody knows you can do that. Now I can trade each individual stock on its own trend line. How about that? All right. Last stock, Coca-Cola. Still using that 50 exponential. Look at that. Now I'm giving Coca-Cola more time to rebound. All right, I'm giving Coca-Cola more time to rebound. There you go. The free online VectorVest training is fantastic. This stuff really works. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Tom. All right, for those of you who are new, for those of you who subscribed, who followed today, thank you very much. I was looking for 5. I got 2. I'll take it. I got 2 new followers today. Outstanding, and thank you for that. I appreciate that. And just from what we call Trending Thursday, it is a great way to stay on top of what the markets are looking at, what's moving the markets, knowing the news about the Fed and how it's affecting the market, looking at the new news that came in as we came aboard about the tariffs and how that's going to affect the market, looking at the stocks throughout the day that were nicely up and then came down because of the news. That's kind of cool to be able to take a pullback from just looking at stock A, B, C, D, all the way through Z, and just taking a look at what's really happening behind the scenes that are affecting the stocks that you currently own. And you know me, every session I'm going to always try to give you an opportunity to look at stocks that you're interested in. Rhode Island says, just bought KO yesterday. Woo! Why? Are you seeing something that I don't see, that the stock is about to bounce somewhere? The White House is calling you on line 3. Hold on. Hello? Mr. President? Oh, right now I'm on Twitch. I'll call you back, okay? Bye. All right, thank you, Kirby. I didn't know. So I'll call him back. And we'll talk about what's going on in the market. Thank you, Kirby. But Providence buying Coca-Cola now, I don't know, unless you see some kind of a reversal happen. I'm not ready to touch Coca-Cola just quite yet. I'm not ready. Oh, it's a secret. Okay, I got you. I listen. It's all about the Benjamins. All right, it's all about the Benjamins. Should have put the White House on hold. No, I'll call him back. I got the straight line. I'll call him back. All right, thank you guys for being here today. If you mark on your calendar, Hot Stocks in August, we're gonna have a 5-panel review of some of the hot stocks next Wednesday at 2 p.m. here on Twitch. All right, so we're gonna do a hot panel review on hot stocks, or a panel review on hot stocks next Wednesday. If you have Amazon Prime and you want to support us financially, you can. You can link your Twitch to your Amazon Prime. You'll get 12 tokens in a year. You can give a token to support any live streamer once a month. All right, and actually, if you look at your name, you'll have a badge that looks like a speedometer. That means that you've signed up through your Twitch Prime. It is a way to support us financially without money out of your pocket. All right, so yes, connected to Prime. Yeah, you can see by way of the names, look at the badges in front of the names. Anyone that's got the VectorVest speedometer is supporting us by way of Twitch Prime, and we thank you and love you for it. And again, the hot stocks, we're going to have a panel next Wednesday. Next Wednesday at 2 o'clock on Twitch, we will have a panel of hot stocks. It'll be me, Steve Chappell, Todd Schaefer, Jim Penna, and I do believe Patrick France. I believe it's going to be
Jerry, not Todd.
Oh, it's going to be Jerry?
Not Todd.
Not Todd. All right, it's going to be Jerry, not Todd. So we're going to have a panel of 4. I will be hosting it, and we're going to have a panel of 4 to take a look at hot stocks live on the stream. Live on the stream. All right, with that, folks, thank you for being here today. Thank you for all of the insight, for all of the chatter. This is what it's all about. I love doing this stuff. I do, and I love when you guys are interactive. It makes it for a lot more fun. I've got a great team of people with Joey and super producer Daniel and Clay in Ohio. This is an awesome team of people. Hostess with the mostest. That's right, the host with the most, says Kevin Trade. You don't want to miss next Wednesday. I agree, Joey. So it will be a panel of 4 other VectorVest instructors, and I will be hosting, and we're going to be talking about some of our own hot stocks. Glenn, I sent this to you. No, you didn't. Ain't nothing here. Anyway, adios, folks. Thank you all for being here. Adios, arrivederci, ciao, au revoir, sayonara. See you all tomorrow. Later. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Now, if you're new to the software or would like refresher information about the software, click on this Getting Started video right here. Thanks to all of your input, here's a YouTube video that we think would be perfect for you. Click right here. If nothing else, folks, just hit the subscribe button right here.